Hey guys, Tim Janik here with Paths and Healing, and just one of the things I wanted to talk about today is carpal tunnel syndrome. Now, those of you who may have heard of this may think that the only option to resolving this is through surgery, and sometimes medical professionals will lead you to think that. However, what we have found in our own practice is that through manipulating the soft tissue that are causing the problems that are causing compression in the carpal tunnel, it can actually be resolved. And we've seen many clients that have come in with carpal tunnel symptoms, and we've been able to resolve those symptoms through working the soft tissue and getting things better alignment and reducing the amount of compression that's happening in the carpal tunnel area. So first off, what the carpal tunnel is these bones right here make up the carpals, and then you can see right through here there's this little tunnel. There's a little retinaculum that sits right there, and then there's a tunnel where all of the ligaments go right through that area. Not only do ligaments go through there, but there's also blood vessels, nerves, things like that are coming through this area. So what will typically happen is, if say you're on the computer quite a bit, you're turning a wrench, if you're an auto mechanic and you're using the wrench and the screwdriver quite a bit, anything that requires using your hands is going to tighten up these muscles that are coming right through here, which are called the flexor, which we call that the flexor compartment. And if you actually were to put your hand on these muscles right here and then tense them up real tight and then flex your wrist, you'll see that all that musculature right through there tightens up, and all of that goes right into the hand and right onto the fingers. Now, if that gets so tight and so overused, and the tendons that run through this carpal tunnel area underneath this retinaculum, what happens is they start to become very, very thickening, and eventually inflammation can set in because they're rubbing, and maybe they don't move through that area like they should be. They should be the tendons should be sliding through that retinaculum nice and smooth. And whenever they get stuck, that's when inflammation sets in. That's when that area starts to get compressed even more. And then the nerve, one of the main nerves called the median nerve, goes right through that tunnel. And when it gets compressed, then you start to have the sensation of tingling in the hands, numbness in the hands, almost feeling like there's lack of blood flow there. Okay? Then as you move further up, you have another muscle that runs across this way called the pronator teres. Okay, that muscle can also entrap that nerve, the median nerve. So if you spend a lot of time in this position, that muscle, the pronator teres, becomes short and tightened, and therefore will start to entrap that median nerve. Okay, however, that's not the only spot that we would be looking at. We would want to travel all the way up into the shoulder, right up through here. We have a muscle in here called the pectoralis minor muscle, and that will tend to have this position where the shoulders roll forward and depress down, because that's what that muscle does. Okay. Then as we travel up into the neck, there's muscles right through here called the scalene muscles, and the cervical plexus actually comes between those muscles. And that muscle can entrap also that cervical plexus, which goes right down underneath the pectoralis minor muscle, down the arm, through the pronator teres, and through the carpal tunnel. So if you have carpal tunnel, it may not necessarily be coming from your carpal area. It may be coming from the pronator teres right here, or the pectoralis minor muscle, or up in the neck. So it's really important when you're working with somebody that they're checking out your whole structure. Because if you come in and you're like this, and your head's cocked over that way, well then you got tight musculature here on the side of the neck that could be compressing the nerve. Not only that, but the pectoralis minor muscle is pulling that shoulder down and forward, which is causing entrapment on this brachial plexus through here, and then right into the median nerve of the pronator teres if you spend a lot of time in this position. And not only that, if you're gripping something, okay, it's going to also compress the median nerve going right through the carpal tunnel. So there's possibly 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas that that nerve, that whole pathway could become entrapped. So that's something that we do here at Paths and Healings. We take people that have carpal tunnel syndrome, we check them out, we make sure that there's nothing going on in the neck, in the shoulder, in the forearm, and in the hand, and address those areas to make sure that those pathways are full, clear, and open, so that way that nerve signal can get down there and you no longer have numbness and tingling in the hands. So give us a call if you have any questions. We'd be happy to help you out, and we'll talk to you soon.